So hello guys and welcome back to another video in our channel. In our video today we look at Chelsea Football Club and in our video today we look at the recent match that Chelsea played against Sheffield United at Stamford Bridge. So the game ended 2-0 courtesy of a goal from Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson. So this was a great win for Chelsea, especially looking at their league position. So Chelsea so far are in a very horrible run and have managed to win just 2 out of their last 5 games, losing 3 out of their last 5 games. This was a very bad run for Chelsea. So we're going to understand what Chelsea did and we're going to see some of the problems and successes they had in this game. So currently in the game, Chelsea went into the game when they were 12th position. They were so low and actually they were just around 3 to 4 points from the drop zone, which is around number 15th, the 15th position. So Chelsea needed to get themselves back in the top half of the table. So before we start our analysis again, I want to request you to subscribe to our new channel, Talk Football TY Clips. So in this channel, we'll be looking more on tactical analysis on different teams such as Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool, as well as Manchester United. So far we've done a number of videos in this channel, and our latest video is the tactical analysis between Liverpool and Manchester United. The link to this video is in the top right hand corner, as well as is in the description area below, sorry. And also we've done a video on Unai Emery as well. So I'm going to leave the links of these videos in the description area below and as well as the end screen. Thanks for staying with us. So before we even begin our analysis, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. So let's bring in the tactical board. So Chelsea lined up in their usual 4-2-3-1 system, and Sheffield United lined up in a 4-1-4-1 block. So they did not press high as most teams, lower block teams, come at Stamford Bridge. So they sat in a narrow mid 4-1-4-1 block at Stamford Bridge. So teams have started to employ the pressing strategy that Newcastle used against Chelsea, and this is having 4 men in the midfield. So you can see here Petrovic is able to play the ball to either Thiago Silva and Badiashile without any pressure because Sheffield are not exerting any pressure at Chelsea. So Thiago Silva will receive the ball and his only pass will be a pass to Colwill down the wide area. And you can see the 4-man midfield system that Sheffield have used, and their forward who's sitting on Moises Caicedo, who's the hub in which the Chelsea team moves. You can see here how the narrow 4-man block in midfield is preventing Chelsea from progressing with the ball higher. And now they have a 5-man midfield with their forward sitting on Chelsea's pivot. So what we started to see is that now the Chelsea centre-backs had time and space to drive with the ball high up the pitch. And the 2 midfielders in Gallagher and Cole Palmer started to move high up to drag the opposition midfielders high. And this enabled Badiashile to be able to pick Mudryk, and we saw in the first half Mudryk receiving the ball in acres of space and having the ability to run at his fullback. Here is one situation where that actually happens. So Mudryk having this time and space on the ball, we started to see Mudryk now showcasing his excellent passing accuracy by playing these penetrative passes for the runs of Nicholas Jackson and Raheem Sterling. We know very well that Mudryk likes to play these passes, and these passes are so important, especially when trying to break lower blocks. But Chelsea were not quite fruitful in the first half of the match. So Chelsea dominated possession, and majority of the time Sheffield United were in their defensive third in their narrow 4-5-1 system. So we started to see Chelsea's fullback starting quite wide, and since the middle part of the pitch was congested, we started to see Chelsea push both Conor Gallagher and Cole Palmer behind the Sheffield United's midfield, and now we started to see Sheffield United employ a tight man marking in midfield, preventing Chelsea from accessing the central zones of the pitch. You can see here Thiago Silva has the ball, but he's already playing the ball to Disasi, who's holding the width down the right. So since all the midfield options for Chelsea had been closed, now what we started to see now is that centre backs were quite ambitious in driving with the ball so high high up the pitch, where they will draw in a marker and play the ball forward. Now, some of the instances that we started to see is Conor Gallagher and Cole Palmer and Modric creating 2v1s in the left channel, while Palmer and Raheem Sterling creating 2v1s in the right channel. So the problem that we had is now that Sterling started to play Disasi, those overlapping runs. And since Disasi is not a right back, majority of the time when he found himself in this crossing position, he would hesitate and pass the ball backwards. So I think this is the problem that Chelsea really faced in this game in the first half. They had fullbacks who are overlapping. There was that space in the wide areas, but the problem now is that Disasi and Colwill are centre backs, and therefore neither of them could cross the ball. So Pochettino needs to come up with a system where the centre backs are not too much involved in the attack. And that is something that Pochettino actually did in the second half. And this is how Pochettino did this. Because the central part of the pitch was heavily clogged up, we started to see Chelsea's centre backs advancing with the ball so high, and they wanted to create these 3v2s in the wide areas, especially positioning Mikhailo Mudryk or Raheem Sterling against the fullback. So a centre back would make a dummy run to receive the ball in the wide areas and attempt a cross. But again, the centre backs were not quite effective in the wide areas. Consider, if you had Ben Chilwell and Reece James in the fullback position, then Chelsea would have been very dangerous attacking down the flanks. But when you have Colwill and Disasi as the players who are overlapping, this is kind of creating a lot of problems for the team, especially in the attacking phases of the game. So we started to see Mauricio Pochettino change the system, and this was by inverting Levi Colwill in midfield and allowing Disasi to now play as a wide centre back and Thiago Silva playing as a central centre back. So now Badiashile and Disasi will be the ones to receive the ball and move with the ball in midfield, and this now will force the opposition wide players to try to track the Chelsea's wide centre backs. And now this started to give space for the likes of Raheem Sterling to receive the ball in the wide areas, and Sterling will link up perfectly with Cole Palmer and make these half space runs where Cole Palmer would attempt to thread those penetrative passes to Raheem Sterling, who was making those runs, diagonal runs in the wide areas. So this is actually what led to the first goal for Chelsea, and this was created because the Chelsea moved into a wide back three system with one centre back coming in field. It alternated. Sometimes Colwill will be the one staying wide, and this would prompt Disasi now to start quite wide and allow two players to occupy the half space position, with Raheem Sterling playing in behind Nicholas Jackson, so that they can have a diamond front six. So you can see here we have Badiashile, Thiago Silva, and Disasi playing as the back three. We can see that only Moises Caicedo is playing as a single pivot in this system, and Caicedo now can receive the ball and play a bouncing pass to Disasi, who's now free to advance with the ball high up the pitch. Now, Disasi in this position will attempt to play the ball to Cole Palmer, as he has already dragged the fullback out of position, and attempt to play the pass to Raheem Sterling. Here you can see Palmer has time and space on the ball, and you can see Nicholas Jackson and Raheem Sterling are making those diagonal runs in between the fullback and the centre backs. So Palmer in this position can receive the ball and attempt to play those penetrative passes. And actually, Raheem Sterling receives the ball, makes a cutback, and Palmer scores the opener for Chelsea. It was quite an improved movement from Cole Palmer, showcasing his excellent footballing IQ on the pitch. Now, because Sheffield were actually playing with the one forward, we started to see Chelsea being so ambitious with committing as many players in the front line. And we will see Thiago Silva attempt to play penetrative passes to Conor Gallagher. And Conor Gallagher, together with Colwill and Mikhailo Mudryk, will create a triangle, whether Mudryk will be the one attacking the channel, Conor attacking the wide areas, with Colwill staying just behind to give a passing option behind. And sometimes Gallagher would attempt that half space pass, but Mudryk would get stopped by Sheffield United because of the tight man marking that Sheffield United had employed in this game. So in the first half, the passes were so lethargic, it was just sideways and backwards. But in the second half, we started to see Sterling and Nicholas Jackson occupying the positions between the fullbacks and the centre backs. Now, also another thing we started to see is the free role of Conor Gallagher. So Gallagher now and Palmer would shift to create overloads on either side of the pitch. With here you can see Sterling, Palmer, and Conor Gallagher creating this triangle, and one player would always find himself free to receive the ball in acres of space and attempt a cross. And this is what actually led to the second goal, where Palmer receives the ball in the channels and makes penetrative pass to Jackson, who taps it in the far post. So there are also some key improvements that I saw in this game that I want to talk about, and the first one is the counter pressing strategy. You can see here that Chelsea have actually lost the possession to Sheffield United. You can see how Conor Gallagher is anticipating this pass and is already moving towards to stop this pass. So Gallagher wins the ball immediately, and rather than playing the pass backwards to begin the build-up system, Conor Gallagher immediately engages to progress the ball higher up the pitch, and that was quite an impressive start. Also, another thing I need to talk about is the defensive organization. This was the game against Everton, and you can see how staggered and disoriented the backline is. Now, I want you to see how the backline has been in this game when Chelsea lost possession. And this is what happened. Here, Chelsea have lost possession. Look at how narrow the back four is. Disasi, Thiago Silva, Badiashile, and Colwill are all quite narrow, limiting Sheffield United's movement on the ball. This is quite a great improvement for Mauricio Pochettino's side. So Pochettino will take this win and will hopefully hope that he can take this win to the Carabao Cup where they face Newcastle. So I want to make a huge shout out for Badiashile. Badiashile has been very good, especially when he was back from injury. He's actually one of Chelsea's best centre backs, and we saw that again in this game. Also, another key shout out that I would like to give is Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer was quite great, quite effective, and quite scored a lot of goals to change the game. You cannot also underestimate the role that Raheem Sterling played in this game in driving with the ball forward to try and give Chelsea chances. Also, I would like to talk about Petrovic. So Petrovic had a very good debut and is looking to be a very calm and composed goalkeeper. Also, we'd like to see what will happen when Christopher Nkunku also comes back to the team. Now, if you would like to see how Manchester United managed to stop Liverpool from beating them at Anfield, click the link in the description area below to watch that video. If you've stayed with us till the end of the video, thanks for watching and have a nice time.